guys? Today I'm happy to present my next build, the OG, the original USS Enterprise from the original series. Initially I was pretty scared to take this on, mostly for two main challenges. The fact that this ship is notoriously smooth, the nacelles, the engineering hull, the saucer, and the fact that this model kit here does not have any molded windows whatsoever. Not only that, they have rectangular windows. So with the help of course, Photoetch window guides, I was able to drill out all the windows painstakingly, but I was able to do it. I was able to get every single window. I don't know if the windows or the squares on the pylons are considered windows. I was not even going to attempt to try to light those, so I just used decals for those. But every single window has been cut out. I did put some tape in the back of a few windows once I light it up, so that at least on the side where it's normally filmed on the filming model, those windows are properly not lit up. And then I sort of just took a liberty on the other side of the ship and just took the tape and blocked out the windows there. I did mirror it on the neck because I figured that the neck is so narrow that whatever illuminates on one side is going to illuminate on the other. Outside of that, the build quality of this, putting the nacelles together was not great. The outer bazzards, once I had everything done with the inner bazzards, I used some tape to achieve the effects on the inner bazzards. But once I tried putting those on, they just did not fit well. The pylons, one of them, I believe it was the port side, went on well enough, but the starboard side, not only did one of the parts break, I continuously had to just re-glue it over and over and over again, just to make sure that the nacelle stayed placed. Even after the painting stages, you know, after I thought I was done with everything, sometimes the nacelle will come loose. Certain intercoolers didn't fit well, even just with a single layer of paint on it. So it was not great, but after everything's said and done, I am pretty damn happy with how this model came out. I'm happy with how smooth everything came out. I have to thank one of my YouTube friends for pointing me to a video that showed it was a gunpla technique where you mix up plastic bits with extra thin cement, you mix it together and you apply it over the seams, like over the plastic itself. It's like basically you're just using the plastic itself as a bonder, and then you sand it down. And overall, I'm very happy with how smooth everything came out. If you were to go up close, you could probably see a little rippling in the nacelles, but I can live with that. Decals, I don't know what was up with these decals. They were really thick. I had to spend a whole night just, especially on the nacelles, pinstriping, trying to apply multiple amounts of microsets just to get them to conform to the hull, because they kept wanting to curl the other direction. Outside of that, what do we got? You may have noticed there's a switch on the front, and I will show you what that's involved. Initially, I was planning on taking inspiration from a very old, I believe 10-year-old video from YouTuber Jason Ware, who used motors to make the bazzard spin on the inside, and I really wanted to try that. I got pretty close by having the same motors and trying it myself. I'll probably put some B-roll footage up just to show my attempt. However, the motors themselves were quite loud before I even tried to get the nacelle halves together, and then every time I tried to put the halves together, something would come off. That it wouldn't fit right. I would need to shave down more of the inside than I wanted to. So I did something else instead with that switch related to the warp nacelles. Outside of that, painting, I managed to find in my a mess of paints that I inherited from my dad. He actually had a good JN gray Tamiya for the base coat. It suited the color just right. It's just gray enough with that hint of green, like it's perfect. I got light blue for the neck, various grays for all the parts. So I think I got it as close to the filling model as possible. I really wanted to light the impulse engines, but however, it's just one big thick piece. I didn't even want to try that. So without further ado, I'll stop rambling and I'll get on to the lights. All right, and here we are. So while I am overall happy with how I lit the model, you may notice that the lighting for the Bizarres is a little uneven. This is probably due to my inexperience of electronics. Like, even though I have lighted several models, I don't have any kind of electrical background whatsoever. I get everything from YouTube videos. My approach for the front Bizarres was to use a set of 10 SMDs for each nacelle, 3 static amber SMDs, 2 blinking red, 2 blinking green, 2 blinking blue, and 1 blinking yellow. And they were all non-resistored, so I had to resistor each, not each of them, but I grouped 2 sets of 3 and 1 set of 4 to a resistor that was marked for 12 volts. And without knowing that they wouldn't blow out, I had them all linked together. However, while the starboard nacelle is what I wanted, the port nacelle very much dominated blue and green, and I actually had to intentionally cut off a couple of those just so I can get the red and orange to kind of protrude a bit more. There's certain points where the lighting kind of looks a little even, but because the SMDs blink all at different times and none of them are linked whatsoever, it will look a little uneven for the most part. But overall, I am happy with how it came out. Next time I'll probably use just orange and red SMDs, maybe a yellow or 2, but just to make sure that those are more even and more dominant. I of course used a TenaControls chip to achieve the navigation lights. With this one, there isn't many. Of course, you've got your regular green and red nav on the top here, whites on the bottom, and then just a strobe on the side here. Not too much in terms of blinkies, but I'll go ahead and pull the model around so I can show all the windows. And for the top, I did not, while I use the Photoetch guides for the top squares, I did not cut them out. I did use a Raytheon effect for this. I intentionally taped the inside and outside when I went to light, block, and paint everything to make sure that these 4 squares came out. I believe that looks way cleaner than having to cut out all those squares. I did drill out a hole here to match the navs here, because I'm aware that this is basically a static nav on the front. I do have the observation deck here lit up, as well as the hangar deck, observation deck. I think later that was retconned into a phaser bank in the Enterprise series. I'm not quite sure. I have to remind myself of that as we complete our tour around here. You may have noticed as I'm knocking the model around that I did attempt a ball joint with this. It's not 100% secure because I did not glue this, but it does give it all articulation and it does work, so I'm pretty happy about that. And with the switch here, while this is not Canon, I did give the nacelles blue grills. While I didn't, because once I finished up the nacelles and put these on, these weren't really fitting well. These needed to be light blocked. I decided more just because by this time, a lot of effort already put in there. I was like, you know what, it's a cool effect. I'm just gonna leave that on there. And plus, when the switch is off, you won't know that they're not light blocked. It's just gonna look like the original Enterprise as intended. But for me, I like the visual continuity of just having the blue grills there. I like it. I also did the little red lights next to the bridge with fiber optics, of course. Very little fiber optics were used, literally just the strobes and those little lights there. And yeah, that's basically it. Like overall, I am very happy with how this model came out. I am happy how dead on this looks, basically, you know, with few, you know, creases here or there. Like I really wanted to get a nav on the side here. Every time I try to like seal up the sides, the solar res for everything I used to bond the fiber optics and to the SMDs and all that, it just wouldn't allow for it to close, so I had to start cutting it out. And yeah, we ended up with a little more simpler nav light design, but it still works. So I'll go ahead and just turn off where's my switch here? Go ahead and just turn off those lights so we can have that stand out a little bit more. Really stand out. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'll go ahead and turn off just in case you want to see it as the original, not with any extra lighting effects. And yeah, there we go. That's the original Enterprise. At this point, I don't think, unless I can get my hands on an Enterprise B kit, there's gonna be any more 1/1000 Federation ships I can do. Like this was the last ship that I wanted to tackle, and now that I've done it, I would either, I think I've said a couple times I wanted to redo my first model, my Enterprise refit, because that's the only one I haven't done my lights with, and I've got some plans of how I want to improve that. So just stay tuned. I might have some things going on down the line, but I might take a break for a little bit. So that's it. I will see you all in the next one.